All right, so now we've moved on to the multi-hill nursery section of the yard. So we've advanced down the road 2 years. So you know, every stop is generally 2 years because the first year is babies, and we don't really rely on baby data, at least from an aroma standpoint, and even a chemical standpoint, because they're going to change from their baby year to their mature year, the second year. 2 years after being in the single hill, we'll again identify the varieties that show the most promise, and we'll move them here to the multi-hill nursery, where now we're looking at probably four, it looks like 4 on either side of the row. So at that point we can start seeing, you know, how they develop a canopy, you know, how they grow as a group, and it'll tell us, maybe in the single hill nursery there was a really strong variety, but right next to it was a really just poor variety that didn't have a lot of cones, didn't have a lot of leaves, which allowed maybe that strong, robust plant to get more resources than it typically would otherwise. So when we move it to the multi-hill nursery and they're building that canopy and they're all together, we might see that come through, and that strong variety actually isn't as strong as we initially thought, because now it's not next to a poor variety. One thing to note too is the ground here on our R11 field. This is, for all intents and purposes, the worst ground that we own, and we do that purposely. We want to see how these hops are growing under more stressful conditions, because then that would imply that under ideal conditions, which is where we would plant them as a commercial variety, they'll do better. They'll be able to withstand pressure. So the multi-hill nursery stop too, it's really where it becomes more exciting as a collaboration between Hopsteiner, our breeding program, and you, the brewers, because now with some of these multi-hills, we can get enough, 11, 22, 44 pounds of some of these varieties and get them into your hands and let you start brewing with them, so that you can tell us what these hops actually taste and smell like in beer. Because we can love the way they rub in the field, but that's not always necessarily the way they're gonna taste in the beer. So this is where we need you all, and it's pretty exciting, when brewers come out here and walk through this field and find something they like, for them to raise their hand and say, yeah, we'll brew with this for you guys, and give you feedback. And it becomes a lot more fun at this point. It's not just a science experiment at that point. It's a real, real hop going into beer.